Hey guys, by Austin Ramos, and today the Miami Dolphins defeated the New York Jets 31-24, improving to 7-7, 6 game winning streak, 5-3 at home. I mean, the Dolphins are just looking really good right now. Stretches in the game did not look good, but the end factor of securing a win is always great. Jets go down to 3-11. They were eliminated from the playoffs a long time ago, but definitely long gone now. Uh, some stretches, some plays that I was not happy about. But let's talk about what I said the Dolphins needed to do in order to secure a win. Put pressure on Zach Wilson, check. Kind of stay consistent, and that was a big check mark. Duke Johnson, shout out to you, guy, let's go baby. And then last one was have fun, and they had that. So I mean, just a trifecta right there on keys to victory. But yeah, it was a pretty decent game. Like, I was kind of hoping for a blowout win, but it was interesting that it was a close enough game that you kind of had you concerned at certain stretches in the game, right? But yeah, Zach Wilson. Let's get into some stats. Zach Wilson went 13 of 23, 170 yards, sacked 6 times for a loss of 44 yards. So just not a good day for Zach Wilson. Keelan Cole attempted a pass. Tua Tagovailoa, 16 of 27, 196 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, sacked to once, but it wasn't really a sack. He slid right where the yard marker is. So that's why he had a loss of no yards, because he literally just slid down right in front of the yard marker. Rushing for the New York Jets, Tevin Coleman was their leading rusher, 8 carries, 50 yards. Michael Carter, 8 carries, 18 yards. Zach Wilson had a rushing touchdown, and so did Braxton Berrios, 2 rushes, 10 yards for Zach Berrios. Duke Johnson was the Dolphins' leading running back, and with good reason, because he had 22 carries, 107 yards, 2 touchdowns. Longest was 12. He had a longer one, but it got called back by a Robert Hunt holding call. And I think there was another holding call, but they declined one of them. That was great performance by Duke Johnson. Season high 183 rushing yards for the Miami Dolphins, which is honestly just phenomenal. Especially when they've been averaging about almost 80 at the most. So that's good. Myles Gaskin, 10 carries, 54 yards. I guess they kept on feeding it to Duke, 1, because it was a hot hand. 2, the whole week it was kind of up in the air who was going to be the Dolphins' lead back. So I'm pretty sure they installed Duke and kind of game planned around him, which was very successful against this Jets team. Let's see what happens moving forward. I think next week is the Saints. So let's see what they do on that game. But for right now, it was exactly what the Dolphins needed. A lot of questions in terms of who's coming back from the COVID list and so on and so forth. And they worked it out pretty good. Receiving for the New York Jets, Jamison Crowder, 5 receptions, 40 yards. Ryan Griffin, 2 receptions, 39 yards. Tyler Kroft, 2 receptions, 35. Braxton Berrios, 1 reception, 26 yards. That's kind of weird. Okay, that makes no sense. But yeah, Devontae Parker, 4 receptions, 68 yards, 1 touchdown. Isaiah Ford, 3 receptions, 51 yards. Mike Gesicki, 5 receptions, 43 yards. Duke Johnson, 1 reception, 20 yards. Fumbles, Zach Wilson fumbled one. Sheldon, actually no, hold on. Zach Wilson fumbled one. Emmanuel Ogbah recovered it. Dumb boneheaded play here. Dolphins attempted a fake punt, and I guess Clayton Fitzgerald wasn't aware or prepped for the ball to come to him, but it bounced off his helmet and the ball kind of went all over the place. Sheldon Rankins recovered it. And then Tua fumbled one and recovered it. Early on in the first quarter, he kind of went for a fake handoff to Duke Johnson. It was kind of like RPO. And I guess Duke really wanted it. And Tua kind of pulled it out, and it fell. And it was literally the first drive, causing them to go 3 and out. Defensively, for the Jets, C.J. Mosley, leading tackler. He was all over the place. 14 tackles, 8 solo. Quincy Williams, 11 total, 8 solo. Ashton Davis, 8 total, 3 solo. 1 pass deflection for him. Elijah Riley, 1 pass deflection. Bryce Hall, 3 pass deflections. Brandon Eccles, 3 pass deflections, and he had a pick 6. Sheldon Rankins, 1 QB hit. So did Jonathan Marshall. Ronald Blair had a QB hit. Let's see who else. And Nathan Shepard. For the Miami Dolphins, Jerome Baker was the leading tackler. 7 total, 4 solo, 2 sacks, 2 tackle for a loss, 2 QB hits. Christian Wilkins, 2 total, 2 solo, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 pass deflection. Brandon Jones, 6 total, 4 solo, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 QB hit. See Andrew Van Ginkel, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 QB hit. Brandon Jones, 2 pass deflections. Zach Sealer had a sack, pass deflection, QB hit. Xavier Howard had a QB hit. Xavier Howard did not get the ball thrown to his side at all today. At all. Zach Wilson never even looked at his side, which was questionable. I mean, yeah, you don't want to throw it against the Dolphins' best cornerback, but the Jets probably would have had a chance if they probably would have tried testing him out, I think they threw it his way like once or twice, and that was it, the entire game. Emmanuel Ogba, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 pass deflection, 2 QB hits. And Jalen Phillips, 1 tackle for a loss. Interceptions, Ashton Davis had an 18-yard return, and then Brandon Eccles, 20-yard pick 6. Punt returns, Baxton Berrios, 2 returns, 23 yards. Tommy Lee Lewis had 1 return for 5 yards. Big play was Tommy Lee Lewis was waving for the fair catch, and then Jason Pinnock, he freaking literally just ignored it and blew him up. Big penalty for the Dolphins, kind of helped them out kick off their drive. Eddie Pinheiro had 1 field goal, 3 for 3 on extra points. Jason Sanders 1 for 1 on field goals, 4 for 4 on extra points. Longest was 27 for Pinheiro, 24 for Jason Sanders. Brandon Mann, 6 punts, 279 yards. 3 were in the 20. Longest was 63. He had a really bad one early in late in the game. Michael Pardley had 3 punts, 159 yards. 1 was in the 20. Longest was 56. Dolphins still in third. No chance that they would move up to second. Even if the Bills lost today, they would have not even moved up to second because the Bills have the tiebreaker against the Miami Dolphins. But it was very unfortunate, at least in the terms that Buffalo won today. Very sad, very sad. Let's see. We had almost double the total yards of the New York Jets. Time of possession early on was really bad for the Dolphins, but they ended up having a 34 minutes, 22 seconds to the Jets' 25-38. So let's see what else is big here. Dolphins went 4 for 5 on the red zone. Jets went 2 for 3. And it was an interesting game, nonetheless. It definitely was shocking to see the performance, what was going on. But luckily the Dolphins were able to pull off the win. Buffalo defeated the Panthers 31-14. Detroit surprisingly beat Arizona. It doesn't matter to the Dolphins, but still. Pittsburgh won 19-13 against the Tennessee Titans, which is unfortunate for the Dolphins. But now in the grand scheme of things, I would rather have a chance with the Dolphins having Tennessee still on their schedule. If they get that head-to-head win, huge. And then on top of that, if the Colts keep on going at the rate they're going, they could win the division if Tennessee just keeps losing games. So we'll see what happens there. The Vegas-Cleveland game on Monday is going to be a big one for the Dolphins. And that's pretty much it in terms of updating on the standings and stuff like that. Cincinnati-Denver is a pretty big game. Whoever loses this game needs to lose out for us. And Baltimore losing against Green Bay could be a big plus for the Dolphins. But if Baltimore loses, Cleveland needs to win out, because then that will work more in the Dolphins' favor, head-to-head win, yada, yada, yada. But that pretty much wraps up the Miami Dolphins hosting the New York Jets game recap. Yes, again, Dolphins won 31-24, and large part due to Duke Johnson just having a phenomenal game. Uh, every time he ran the ball, it was awesome hearing the fans at the stadium yelling Duke or you. So that's all good. Yes, next game for the Dolphins, Monday Night Football against the New Orleans Saints, which Saints earlier in this part of the season, I would have said, they're a pretty tough opponent. They still are a tough opponent. Every team is a tough opponent in the NFL. But I like the Dolphins odds. Tennessee's not looking well, and then the Dolphins have the Patriots number, but they always go back and forth. If we win one, they always win the other one. So hopefully the Dolphins could come out on top of there. But hey, 7-7. If I would have told you 6-7 weeks ago, hey, the Dolphins will be back at 500, you would tell me I'm a liar. And I'm not. But yeah, it's a very interesting. No team has ever made it to the playoffs, so starting 1-7. So the only team that got close was the New York Giants, and they fell short. But we'll see what happens. 3 more games left. Saints, Titans, Patriots. Yeah, 3 more games left. Final stretch of the season. It's going to be interesting. Grab your popcorn and enjoy the show. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll get you guys next week for the New Orleans Saints game. Be a Christmas type of episode. And the game picks. DJ will not be in it, unfortunately. He is out of town, but he will probably make an appearance. We'll see what happens. We're still trying to figure it out. But yeah, definitely me and Chris will be at least on the game picks. So appreciate you guys for watching, and hopefully more Dolphin wins are along the way.